you, Nox.
Aduh, 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 aduh.
Aduh, aduh.
Aduh, aduh, aduh. Aduh, 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 aduh.
Ah, chegou, cara.
Stop, 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 stop. Right, right, right.
like no...
Programs are no longer available on. Please contact the device.
To protest.
So I heard you earlier, David. Urging the need for peaceful protest. The point you're making.
If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I mean, I wasn't there, so
you were urging the need for peaceful protest, and that is abundantly important right now. I think that sometimes people are urging the police to go in hard, because even a peaceful protest in this week, in this time, isn't a legal protest.
That's right.
And so, even urging a peaceful protest has got its problems right now. I think from what I witnessed yesterday, it was predominantly almost it was clearly a peaceful protest. There were people sitting down in front of police lines. These people were then I choose my words carefully, but I'll just talk factually. These people were hit by the bottom end of police riot shields.
And at what time were they hit? I saw some scenes on social media that seemed to show that, appeared to show that with riot shield. This is the evening. This is towards 10 o'clock.
So this is just after 10 p.m. So the scene had remained remarkably unchanged for the maybe 4 or 5 hours. There was a march through the city, and then protesters gathered outside Bridewell police station, which on Sunday night was the scene of the worst of the rioting. Your listeners and yourself probably saw images of police vehicles ablaze.
Is your assessment that basically there was a decision made on the policing that protesters should not be protesting due to COVID-19 anyway, and we're going to break this up? Is that what you're sort of saying?
All I can tell you is what I saw, and at a certain time, the police obviously changed their tactics, and it was less defence. They no longer stood in a line, and they turned defence into offence, if we're talking that type of terminology, because the protesters, as you said, David, they were peaceful protesters. I think they're probably
were people. Do you think you're editor of Bristol 247? Did you get the sense quite a lot of people, as Marvin Rees has indicated, had come into Bristol?
Yeah, I can't. That would only be speculation from my part.
What's your sense? You know your folk.
Well, I think that you know what? Yesterday, I actually heard more non-Bristol accents from the police than I did from the protesters. They call it mutual aid when
that's right.
when police forces bring in neighbouring police forces to help out in situations like this, and they they certainly were in. I'm talking about the police there. They were certainly on the streets of Bristol in big numbers. I think at times.
On the whole, that's never a good. That's never great. You do want local police officers when you've got officers coming in from other areas. My experience is, things can go wrong. Martin Booth, editor of Bristol 24/7. Thank you so much for joining me and really bringing, I think, to the LBC audience the reality of what you saw on the ground. Very, very grateful indeed. Glenn in Barnstaple. Glenn.
Hello.
Hi, Glenn.
Hi, Dan. Well, a pleasure to talk to you, Ben. You're a star. I love it. I'm wondering about these incidents that are going on, because it seems to be everything's very peaceful, then suddenly a switch is clicked and it all goes very nasty. And I'm wondering who's benefiting from this. All they're doing by doing this is promoting the bill that they're trying to kill.
Yeah, I know.
I think, they're sort of, it seems to be all of a sudden...
Don't take the bait, I think is what it is, Claire. Don't take the bait. Yeah. It's my instinct. Don't take the bait. Think about how this is going. I know that there are people across the country, they might be slightly on the older end of things. They actually are terrified of the coronavirus. They're terrified of people gathering publicly until we've got through this. If you are going to protest, make sure you're doing it peacefully. Make sure you're following the rules. Don't take the bait. But the other side of it is when you look at some of the images. Now, the images may well be partial, but I looked at one of the images put out by a Mirror journalist, and it was horrendous. The policing looked really heavy-handed and horrendous.
Oh, I totally agree. I'm not trying to... I don't think I'm taking the bait. I'm just saying is that it's almost...
No, I'm not suggesting you're taking the bait. It's the rioters. The protesters. I'm not suggesting you are, Glenn. Yeah.
I just feel there's a deeper line to this. That at certain stages, there are people who are doing this for a reason. They are causing the problems. You've got innocent, people who are actually doing vigils the other day. They're doing this, they're protesting against... All of a sudden it turns nasty. And all of a sudden the police react and they go in. And I just feel that there's something somewhere that's causing this to happen, that's doing this for a reason. And who's going to win? At the end of the day, the bill will go through Parliament because everybody's worried about these bloody protesters who are going to cause problems.
Well,
it
begs the questions. Were decisions made in Parliament that gave powers in relation to handling of COVID, and is this what we now want? Should people be able to protest peacefully, safely distanced, or not, is one question. And two, how do you protest in such a way that actually persuades and gets people behind you, doesn't lead to this business where we've got effectively... it's a point at which a protest turns into a riot. Glenn, thank you for calling in. You're listening to David Lammy. It's 4:30 and it's time for the news with Tim Humphrey.
Police have urged people not to take part in further protests in Bristol after politicians branded violence towards officers as disgraceful. Avon and Somerset Police have asked anyone considering taking part in further protests in the city over the weekend to reconsider for the sake of public health. The Foreign Secretary and the British Ambassador to Myanmar are among those condemning violence in Mandalay and Yangon, which has seen 106 anti-coup demonstrators killed, many of them children. Dominic Raab says today's killings mark a new low. Boris Johnson says he's seen absolutely nothing in the data that would delay England's plan for easing coronavirus rules. The Prime Minister's told Conservative Party members he's looking forward to a pint in a pub and visiting the barber, but warned of uncertainty caused by rising cases in Europe. And the weather, heavy rain in the northwest tonight, which will sink into central parts. Showers in Scotland, but the south and east staying dry. A low of 5.
This is LBC.
Millions of people are already using regular rapid tests twice a week to help protect themselves and their loved ones from COVID-19.
They're easy to find, easy to use.
All the parents taking part are looking after their kids and mine.
I'm just glad I can do something to help keep my kids' lives moving.
Tests are free, easy to find and easy to use. If you're a parent or part of a childcare bubble with no symptoms, you can order your twice-weekly tests at gov.uk/order school household tests.
We get it. The thought of getting on a train right now isn't the most appealing prospect. All of us at Southeastern want you to know that we're going above and beyond to keep our trains safe. With extra cleaning staff, regular swab testing, and hand sanitizer points at busy stations. Our mission is to help you feel confident and comfortable if you travel. Find out more at southeasternrailway.co.uk/safe.
It's always nice to get something extra when you've not had to ask for it. And the more extra, the better. A complimentary drink is nice, but is better. At the Hyundai Upgrade event, we've added more savings so you could upgrade to a new Hyundai and get up to £3,000 off. Visit Hyundai.co.uk before the end of March to find out more. T's and C's apply. Saving against list price, over 18s and participating dealers only. Savings vary by model. £3,000 off applies to 2020 Santa Fe model only.
At Nutmeg, we understand the value of a dream. We all have big plans for our little ones. But we also know life has its hiccups. A Nutmeg Junior ISA could help finance your kids' future dreams. So we can all sleep safe and sound through the night. Whether you're a dreamer or a planner, we have the investment solution for you. Visit nutmeg.com to learn more. Capital at risk. Junior ISA rules apply.
When your tenants have a burst pipe, superheroes crashing through the wall isn't going to help anyone. With Direct Line Landlord Emergency added to your policy, we're on it to send a rather super plumber in 4 hours and guarantee they'll use the doorbell. We can also assemble locksmiths, glaziers, electricians and drainage engineers. Search Direct Line Landlord Emergency. We're on it. Direct Line.
Residential properties. Optional add-on up to 1,500 per call out. Extreme weather conditions may extend response time. Underwritten by UK Insurance Limited.
If you need to travel for legally permitted reasons or as part of your daily exercise, cycling is a great option. Whether you're new to cycling or just need a refresher, our free TfL online cycle skills course is quick and easy and will help you boost your confidence and feel safer when you cycle. Plus, once completed, you'll receive a 15% discount on Halfords branded bike accessories. Conditions apply. For more details, search TfL Cycle Skills. To the Mayor of London and TfL, every journey matters.
Come on, Arlo, bath time. Swale Heating. We take the time to look to the future. Our fleet of vans is going electric. We provide A-rated boilers like Worcester Bosch, biomass boilers, smart heating technology and solar panels. Swaleheating.com. Rely on us to keep you warm.
Get the stunning Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus 5G with Vodafone. And right now you could save £561 guaranteed. That's right. I said £561. Simply trade in a Galaxy S9 or S10 using our trade-in tool by the 31st of March. Ready? Vodafone.
Based on £15 per month trade-in saving on a 24-month plan plus £201 offer saving. Return device must pass trade-in checks. Details and terms at vodafone.co.uk.
David Lammy on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
David Lammy here on LBC, and we're talking about what's been going on in Birmingham and protests, taking your calls, your tweets. Let me just read some of these text messages and things that are coming in. Hi, David, I'm 72, and we are the protest generation. The new bill would destroy a huge chunk of what I see as democracy, and that's Lucia in Birmingham. There's another one here who says, your party is so quiet. If there's any aspect of policy you disagree with, then regardless of the vote in Parliament, make it clear where you stand. I don't accept that. I mean, I think I was incredibly vocal in Parliament 2 weeks ago. Another one here from Simon. I wish the reporter wouldn't call them protesters. These people cause trouble and then sit down. These people are clever, troublemaking scumbags. The reporter sounds young and biased. I don't think the fact that he's young makes him biased, and what's wrong with being young. Norman in Dartford in Kent. Norman.
Yeah, on that point, I'd like to say the reporter you had on, he must have witnessed the most unique demonstration ever, because he never will see any troublemakers. Now, I go back to the miners' strike, which I supported because I was a trade union activist, and Wapping, and they was always infiltrated by people went there purely just to cause trouble and aggravate the police. So he must have witnessed something really special.
I mean, Norman, he was there. He's editor of a local...
wait a minute. I said I didn't say he wasn't there.
No, that's true.
He must have witnessed something really special, because if you believe there weren't any troublemakers there, do you?
Well, I put it to him because this...
No, I'm asking what you believe.
Hang on.
Not what he saw or what he wanted to tell you. I'm asking you, do you believe there was any troublemakers there?
Norman, I wasn't there, and neither were you.
No, I know that. I said, what do you think then?
No, Norman, I wasn't there. Neither were you. What I believe is what's come from my friend Marvin Rees, who's the mayor of Bristol.
And what did he tell you?
He's clearly of the view that people came into Bristol. Yes. They came into Bristol. He says very clearly he says of particular concern are the number of people travelling into our city to protest or to cause conflict. You can protest in your own town, your own village, without travelling to ours. And that was in the first line of his statement. I know Marvin, he's a very reasonable guy, and I can tell he's upset. That's my view. His view.
Well, he's hit the nail on the head, hasn't he? He said they come in there to protest or cause conflict. He's hit the nail on the head. Exactly right.
But
the man knows what he's talking about.
But the other side of it is also clear from some of the images that some of the policing was, heavy-handed is putting it gently.
Well, I mean, they come unstuck last week, didn't they?
And what I think happens, and I remember this during the riots, is when mayhem goes on for days, obviously, and you have to call in forces from outside. Obviously, they come in with an attitude, because this is riot police who are coming in with shields, with batons, with gear. Well, you saw them.
Yeah, they're called in because they need help. If you've been on demonstrations, you see what goes on. And I don't think this lot is any different to what it's always been.
Well, my view is keep it peaceful. Keep it peaceful.
Is mine, but you try keeping these people out of it.
But hang on a minute, Norman, why do you think these folk are any different? You said you were at Wapping. I remember Wapping getting a bit hairy, those protests. You were at the miners' strike. You said why do you think they're any different?
They're
just a different generation.
Workers' Party.
Say that again?
I said, in those days, the troublemakers were mainly members of, they called themselves the Socialist Workers' Party. Do you remember that?
Of course I remember the Socialist Workers' Party.
Well, there you go.
But look, I just think it's a little bit, my generation were better than your generation, Norman. That's what I think I'm hearing from you.
Do you?
Well,
what generation do you think mine is?
No, I'd say I don't know, but you're clearly not the generation of those on the streets of Bristol who are upset and protesting against this bill.
I was on a demonstration when we were fighting for trade union rights. Not attacking the police.
Yeah.
No, that was my generation. Or what my activity was as a trade union rep and fighting for trade union recognition.
I've got that. I have huge respect for you for that, Norman. I do seem to remember, however, that some of those protests against the police during that with the policing during that era of Thatcherism got pretty hairy. But thank you so much for calling in. Bristol, we've got Sky. Is this Sky?
Yeah, hi there.
Hi, Sky. Who's calling in from Bristol? Sky, are you a student in Bristol, do I understand?
Yeah, I am. I'm in my second year at the uni.
You heard that last call. Maybe I should have brought you in with him. But, what's the score? Who's right here?
So I'm going to speak on behalf of sort of maybe the student body. And obviously I can't speak for people coming in outside of Bristol, but I've been there at the protest during the daytime, and I can't emphasise enough how peaceful they are. And I've left before the violence kicks off because, quite frankly, I'm terrified.
And did you leave because you had a feeling that violence would kick off after dark?
Yeah, I mean, by about... So yesterday we were there from 4 onwards, and by about 6, the police were lining up with their riot shields and blocking off certain roads and different exits and entrances in Bristol to sort of try and channel the protest, I guess, in a certain direction. And it's interesting. What I find really interesting is that, they say that they're having to disperse these protests because of the laws of coronavirus sort of permitting people mass gatherings, but that, they let it go on for 6 hours. Masses of people, hordes of people throughout the streets. They let it go on for 6 hours. And for the past 2 nights that have got violent, at about 10 p.m., they've gone in with their riot shields, with their batons. They give people. I mean, I do want to make this clear that I've left before the violence has started, but I live in a house of 7 people, and multiple of my friends have been there in the violence. I've witnessed videos of the violence and their accounts. So I just want to make that clear before I sort of explain it. But at about 10 p.m., they say, we're going to disperse the crowd. On Sunday night, people were sat down. They lie down when they're told to disperse. And the police honestly unleash, it is brutal what is going on. Trampling over crowds, hitting people with riot shields, batting people with batons. And I promise you it's peaceful. I can't account, I'm sure there are troublemakers, that there are people inciting violence, but I know that the vast majority of people are being subject to really, really vicious violence and unprecedented violence.
Did you see people coming in from out of town? Did you get a sense that there were folk who'd come to these protests from beyond Bristol?
To be complete, I don't think I could say. I'd say no, because I didn't notice that. I didn't notice anything unusual about the crowd, other than it felt very much like a Bristol crowd. Do you feel that there were, the last caller indicated basically he was saying that troublemakers